Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another Gunpla review, and today I'm taking a look at this right here. This is the premium Bandai Dwage from Mobile Suit Gundam Double Zeta as well as Gundam Unicorn. This particular variant right here is from Double Zeta, and of course if you're looking for some P-Bandai of your own, then there's a link down there in the description. You can get yours at BUYEE, and there's also the link to the Amazon Japan listing, which I bought this from. But anyway, let's get to the review. So this right here is exactly what you get once you just cut this off the runners and snap it together. No extra effort has been put into this whatsoever. All in all, this does look absolutely fantastic, but your first question might be what my first question was: what the hell even is a Dwage? So of course you can tell just from the overall look that this is some variant of the DOM, and that's exactly what it is. This is from Double Zeta, and apparently it's the final production version of the DOM. As well as appearing in Double Zeta, it did appear in Gundam Unicorn as well, which a lot of mobile suits tend to do. So this version right here is exactly the color scheme you would have seen in Double Zeta, whereas I assume sometime in the future we're probably going to see that darker variant that was in Unicorn. So that's enough about the mobile suit. What about the model kit itself? So as you can tell, it's heavily based on the DOM, but how heavily? So right now, Premium Bandai is releasing some killer kits, so many different variants and awesome things that kind of build upon kits that were there before, and that's exactly what's going on here. The Master Grade Dwage right here, just like this, which I finished building last night, the Master Grade Regazi Custom, these kits take some old classic Master Grades and fix pretty much all of their flaws, but it's not necessarily a 2.0. The Dwage here, unlike the DOM, has those new perfect grade style posable hands, as well as a whole host of new articulation features. We've got some extra articulation in the shoulder, some more in the waist, and probably the best aspect down here is gone are the ball and socket waist joints. We've got this raising and lowering hip section in here, and we've got proper articulation here in the upper leg. So I don't actually have a DOM to compare this to right now, sadly, but essentially what they've done here is made a DOM 1.5, and speaking of which, the majority of this kit is made up from the DOM runner from back in 1999, so a lot of this kit does not feel like a 20-year-old kit, I will say that. But as for the 2019 runners in here, these don't say DOM or Dwage, these actually just say MS09, which is the DOM itself, so we may see these crop up again in a different variant of this. Hopefully, we'll see a 1.5, or even better, a 2.0 of the DOM, but yeah, that's probably not likely. However, there is the Runner S, which is all the different parts that make the Dwage unique to the Dwage as opposed to the DOM. This does say Dwage, so what's going on here? But anyway, that is enough about the runners. This looks fantastic. The DOM is an awesome looking grunt mobile suit, and the Dwage is an interesting variant. There is a few differences here compared to the DOM, mainly those canisters around the back, some detailing on the side of the legs, the arms being in grey on the front, some extra nice color on the chest there, and all in all, this looks great. The colors, the orange, beige, grey, and black, all look really awesome. I also love that mono eye, that full clear section in the front, and that clear mono eye inside, all in all, looking fantastic. Zeon grunts really don't get enough love, so it's always nice to see a new kit, even if it's Premium Bandai. As for the major differences that set it apart from the standard Master Grade DOM, we do have a lot of extra detail. Of course, we've got those orange fuel canisters all over the place on the back of the leg, around on the back, and that color is a bit like processed cheese. The Dwage comes with a huge butt flap, this time with that cool grill effect in it, looking really good. The four arms are separated into two different colors, which looks great. That's that gray and the standard beige that is all over it. The scattering beam gun in the left-hand side of the chest looks great in clear as well as red. And up top, we've got some tubes there in the front of the chest, antennas on top, and this Dwage features some Vulcans on the side of its head. Color accuracy wise, this thing is essentially perfect besides one little thing, which of course is this little yellow segment here. On this it's in clear, and I actually like the clear. So that does mean the Dwage is a kit with no color correcting stickers. It does come with a sheet of water slide decals, but at the moment I can't find them. Anyway, moving on to the accessories, and there is the Dwage with everything that it comes with. Well, not necessarily everything that it comes with, it also comes with this as well. This is what the box says it comes with, and this is extra. And speaking of extras, there is a whole load of leftover plastic on the runners here. If you like this sort of stuff, that is great, but if you don't, there's going to be a lot of leftover plastic here, because a lot of parts have been replaced by changing this from the DOM to the Dwage, and on top of that replacing a lot of the joints in the shoulders, ankles, and waist. We do have a lot of, well, waste. So first up, as for the manipulators in here, it is those perfect grade style, fully posable hands, so that means we do not have any interchangeable parts, and nothing to really mess around with here. That's good. As for weapons, first up we have this, which is ridiculous looking. It's called a heat saber. And basically it's like a big old baton that heats up. So unlike a beam saber, which is a beam, this is just a big old stick. So anyway, this is in that crazy neon yellow. Gray handle then with that pop out tab right there. Of course that is for using with the hands. They have the same pop out tab. These can be a little finicky to get out. And that then just pops in. Tab over tab, just like so. So there's a quick example of what the master grade Dwage will look like up on your shelf with that heat saber attached. So I will mention this is probably one of the most ridiculous looking weapons I've ever seen. It's a big banana yellow stick, not the coolest looking thing ever. We do have more in here, however. First off, when this here banana bad boy is not in use, you can just take that out of the hand. This little section on the back then opens up just like so. It tucks in like that, and then that just closes up for storage. Simple as that. So if you're not a fan of the banana saber, we do have this heat tomahawk in here, and this is a really cool heat tomahawk. So unlike your standard heat tomahawk, this has two blades, but I guess the color accuracy does come into question a bit here because we don't have anything from the edges here. It's just all one color. It would have been cool to have some nice heat effects or something like that for with it, but hey, this is what we got. Just like before, this attaches into the hands, just like with the banana saber, and this is a very secure connection. This is going nowhere. Anyway, once again, that's what it will look like up on the shelf, equipped with the heat tomahawk. The tomahawk does have this little segment here, which almost looks like it's for mounting it, but there is no mounting points anywhere on the kit. Not as far as I can see. There's nowhere that this can actually hook on, so when not in use, I guess, throw it away. So the next weapon then is a long-range weapon, and this is the giant bazooka. And it's pretty cool to see that the Dwage is color coordinating its accessories with its outfit, so that's kind of cool that those match. Besides that though, we've got two different tabs on the handle down here that pop out like we've seen before. This little fin segment can move up and down. Same with this little rail here on the front that can swing forward and back. And probably the worst aspect about this is this little part on the front is awfully loose. It doesn't take much to knock that off at all, so I suggest gluing that or it will get lost. So usually these bazookas have a moving handle. This one doesn't, so I assume that's why it's got two separate tabs there. But anyway, once again, that is what it will look like equipped, and that's what it will look like up on your shelf. So all in all, looking pretty cool, and out of the bunch, this has to be my favorite weapon. And just in case you're curious, yes, you can use the other bazooka that comes extra on the runners because these are completely posable hands. It doesn't have the same tab section here, but these hands are actually pretty strong. So the Dwage doesn't have any problem holding onto that whatsoever. Almost forgot we also get a 1/100 scale generic pilot figure in here, and this is the older style that does not have that little base. So this guy can't stand up. So on to the last segment of the review, and of course that is the build and articulation, and this thing is as solid as it looks. This thing is built like a brick shithouse. Definitely impressed by that. However, as you could probably tell by the lack of poses in any of the parts where I showed the weapons, this thing doesn't pose all that great, even though it has been updated. But anyway, let's take a look from the head down as usual. So of course my favorite aspect about this is the mono eye. So you can just slide up the face, simple as that. It can look side to side, as well as up and down. So that is pretty cool. I love how simple the access to it is. You just slide the face on and off like so. Fairly easy. So really can't give out about the articulation on these guys too much. They are a grunt suit, and one bulky grunt suit at that. So that is all you're going to get for the head up and down. Side to side is very, very basic. But then again, look, this thing has no neck. So next up, as for the shoulder, this is a new design, but it's not the greatest design. I'll show you why. This can now move out and forward like this. Oh, well, that fell off. So it can move out and forward just like so. So that is pretty cool, but when you try to close that back up, it gets stuck. So that is a bit of a pain in the ass when the arm is attached. You almost have to separate the armor, separate the armor out a little bit in order to squeeze that back in. And that is a bit awkward. See, this part came apart there, close that up. That could have been designed a little bit better. However, you can't really fault the articulation you get out of this once you do remove that section out like this. That is pretty awesome. Can it fold its arms? Yes, it can. Badass right there. Next up at the shoulder then we've got that full rotation. That shoulder armor is pretty much fixed in position. There's the arm all the way up, pretty damn good. Full rotation there at the upper arm. There is the bend at the elbow. Yeah, pretty damn great. And once again the hand is the pre-molded perfect grade style hand. And all of those fingers feature full articulation, but make sure to be careful with them because they are a bit delicate. So apparently this kit has updated the Dom's ab crunch. So there's it all the way to the back, a little bit blocked by this canister. Front, back, front, back. There's this side to side crunch, not bad. As a rotation, there to there, so not great but not awful. Down at the skirting armor, there it is all the way up to the front. These are just flappy flappies. As far as I can tell, the side skirts as well as the butt flap are stuck in position. Even though there was quite a bit of building to this with polycaps, they don't really seem to do, well, anything. Maybe this is a part for fixing something. But yeah, they don't seem to do anything at all. Like I mentioned before, we do have a drop down hip joint, which is awesome. And all of these here are articulated, which is so, well, kind of pointless. When are you ever going to open this up just to do this? This doesn't move, so kind of seems a bit superfluous. However, this is great that they added a proper hip joint onto this, not the ball and socket that we would have seen before, so that just affixes in like that. As for a kick all the way up to the front, it's good, not great. If I bend that knee, nah, you're not getting any more. As for the kick out to the back, not a whole lot there either. Of course, this thing has huge legs, so you can't really expect too much, and because these side skirts don't seem to move out, seems like we're not going to be getting... Oh well, hold on, drop these down. Okay, that is not bad. A lot more than I thought I was going to be getting from this out to the sides. Pretty good, no splits, but it's pretty damn good. As for the bend at the knee, that's what we get, so again, pretty good. Just beyond 90 degrees it seems, and we do have a moving bit of knee armor there, so not bad. And apparently we do have a new ankle joint here, so I'm going to pop it off and check that for the functional movement. So there it is all the way to the front, and that is not bad at all. All the way to the back, and as you'd expect, it does get blocked by this. Too bad it doesn't have a bit of a Saber style thing where this can all spread out of the way, but that's all we'll get. And there is side to side. So as you'd expect from something so bulky, it's nothing crazy. Could be a lot worse, but it could be a lot better. All in all, Bandai did seem to put a lot of time into 1.5ing the joints in this guy, but in the end, because they didn't do much with the skirting armor, the legs are quite blocked all the time. But then again, it is a Dom. You're not going to expect too much from it, but I would like to see a little bit more from this. And while the complaints are rolling, this does not have any form of base adapters, so you're going to have to use one of those old school kind of hooked one like this here, which are notoriously unreliable. And because it's got really big square joints, these probably won't even fit. Yeah, that is not going to fit. So not only does it not pose well on the ground, it's stuck on the ground, so definitely negative points for it right there. So that right there is it for the review, and what can I say? I really find it hard to decide what to rank this as. It's such a mixed bag of a kit. First off, I will mention that my own opinion on kits versus what I rank them does differ quite a bit sometimes, but in this case it's so hard to say. The articulation for the most part in the upper body is quite good, lower part is bad, the accessories are okay, nothing fantastic, and the overall package is alright. But that's relatively speaking when it comes to master grades. Usually, Zeon kits are quite rare and not that good, and that's why this right here is kind of awesome. It's almost like you have to give the Zeon kits a little bit more of a ranking compared to the ones you'd give for the Fetty ones. It is meant to be a grunt, so you can kind of take that into consideration when the articulation isn't the best, so that's why I'm going to go ahead with the safe bet, and I'm going to rank this here silver tier. This is pretty much what I would expect from a Zeon master grade. It is a grunt, so it's not going to be doing backflips and big poses and whatever in the air, so I'll give it that little bit of leeway. But one of the worst aspects about this, I have to say, is the lack of a compatibility with an action base. Sure, you can pull the legs out a little bit to try and squeeze the action base adapter part in there, but this doesn't come with anything on an action base. They redesigned the waist unit on this and did not make an action base adapter. What the hell were they thinking? So this is most of the time going to be just stuck on the ground unless you play around with it a bit. All in all, you could do a whole lot better, you could do a whole lot worse, but they should have just 2.0 the Dom and given us that instead of this 1.5 P-Bandai odd mishmash right here. At the end of the day, if you love Doms and if you love Zeon kits, you will absolutely adore this. Like I said, I rank this only silver but I love it to pieces. It looks great, it's awesome. Just when it comes to master grade quality, it isn't necessarily there in some aspects. It's so hard to say. Some parts are so amazing, some parts are a bit of a flop. All in all though, I'd say go for it. If you want one of your own, there is a link down there in the description. You can get yours through BUYEE. As always, make sure to come back for more Gunpla reviews, and I'll see you next time.